Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is day number 10 of our December 2023 Advent calendar, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to build this beautiful pink petal flower farm. Now, this is a bit of a Japanese-inspired kind of build. I'm not very good at building in this style, but I think the colors kind of clash and they work surprisingly well. Of course, go ahead and feel free to change out any of the blocks if you don't like them or want them in your own build, but I am overall quite pleased with how it came out. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at how to use the farm. When you walk inside of your temple using any of the doors, there are 4, one on each side, you will be presented with this little contraption right here. There are 2 chests kind of hidden away in the ceiling. Not really hidden, but they're there so that you don't really notice them as much. But the inside of the temple, just overall, it doesn't really look all that great. It's not intended to, it's just meant to house this redstone device, which thankfully you don't really notice from the outside of the build. Pretty much all this is a observer clock, which you activate by flicking this lever. And when you flick that lever, it just starts shooting bone meal out of this dispenser and creating more and more pink petals. Now, the 2 chests in the ceiling can be used as either storage, or if you want, you can put hoppers underneath them going into your dispenser and use it as extra bone meal storage. But what you do with the chests in your build is completely up to you. So let's go ahead and get right into how to construct this thing. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do when it comes to building up your pink petal farm is set up the base. To do this, we're going to take 3 stone brick stairs, just like this. We're going to put some solid blocks behind those with 3 more, just like this. And then to the side of either stair like this, we're going to add 2 stone bricks, and then 2 walls after that. So you're going to end up with something just like this. Now from here, we're going to have this be our center, and we're going to have a 9 by 9 area. So if this is our center, we're going to go out by 4 blocks in each direction, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now from here, we're going to go out by 8 blocks off of each end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Go ahead and connect this end up. Now, over here, opposite to the staircase that we have already built, we're going to go ahead and construct another staircase with the walls and everything once again. And on these corner areas, we're going to have to fill those in, because otherwise you're going to actually be able to see through your platform, and nobody wants that. So we'll go ahead and fill these corners in. Now we have 2 staircases and this middle area. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is find the center block on the sides that don't have a staircase, because here is going to be where we set up, you guessed it, another little staircase, identical to the ones that we have already built, and then directly across from that, we're going to line up 1 more. Once all 4 staircases are in, you can go ahead and grab your stone bricks, and we're going to just go ahead and fill all of this in by 1 more layer, but we're going to be sure to leave the central bit, this little 5 by 5, unfilled in, because that's going to be where the flooring of our actual building goes. So on every single one of these center blocks here, just in front of each staircase, is going to be where we put a cherry door. That's going to be how we actually access the inside of our temple. Now let's go ahead and build this up by layers. So I'm also going to go ahead and grab out all of our roofing blocks and our window and filler blocks. So on each corner here, I'm going to go up by 3 cherry logs, and then I'm also going to do it on either side of these doors. So you're going to end up with a structure looking just like this so far. On the edge of every single one of those top cherry logs, we're going to put a upside down cherry stair, just like this, all the way around on every single one. In between each stair, we're going to put some trapdoors, and we're going to do this once again all the way around the building. And then we're going to kind of layer this like a cake. So in total, there are going to be 3 layers, and as you continue upwards, each layer is going to get smaller. Let's go ahead and actually fill in the insides of this layer before we continue to move upwards. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to place in stripped mangrove logs sideways in every single one of these gaps, just like this, except for these middle blocks, because that is going to be where we put in a cherry fence as a window. Now, once you've gone ahead and filled this in all the way around that bottom layer, we can go ahead and continue to move upwards. So what we're going to go ahead and do is grab out our cherry slabs, and we're going to fill in each corner with this pattern here. So on each of these edge stairs, we're going to put a slab, and then here we're going to do another slab, and then up by one. And on these outside like blocks that we now have, we're going to put on trapdoors. And then after that, you're going to take 5 cherry trapdoors and fill in all these areas here, just being sure to cover the top, just like we are here, just to add a little bit more thickness. Now we can go ahead and get out the blocks for our roof. We're going to layer this out like this. So behind each trapdoor, you're just going to have a slab, and then a solid block or 2 layered slabs in each corner, however you want to actually go ahead and do that. And then once we have that entire roofing section filled in, we can go ahead and move on to the second layer of our cake/temple. Again, however you want to think of it. To do this, it's very similar to the first layer, completely identical actually, just much smaller. Now it's moving into a 5x5 area compared to a 7x7. And this time we're going to have less pillars because it is smaller. So again, each corner is going to have a pillar, and we're going to go up by 3. And we're going to go up by 3 cherry logs. In the direct center of each one, so right above our door, we're also going to have a pillar going up 3 cherry logs. Now, just like the layer below, we're going to go ahead and put in our cherry upside down stairs on the very top layer. And then we're going to put in 2 upside trapdoors on each layer in between the stairs. Now we're again going to take our slabs, doing the exact same pattern on each corner with trapdoors on the sides of each block, just like we did on the lower layers, exactly identical. And then just like down below, but instead of 5, we're now going to use 3 cherry trapdoors to cover these 3 center blocks on each side to once again just add a little bit of thickness to the edge. Now let's go ahead and fill in our insides before we put on the roof. To do this, we're just going to fill in these areas with the stripped mangrove wood. And then on the center blocks, we're going to put in our cherry fences, just like down below. And then, just like on the lower layer with the roof, we're going to put a solid block of polished black stone in either corner, and then fill in the 3 blocks behind the slabs with a half slab. Now we have 2 layers on our temple, or cake, however you want to think of it. Thinking of it like a cake is actually kind of funny. Let's move on to our last layer. For the final layer, we're going to go ahead and put 4 pillars of cherry logs going up by 3 blocks. Again, just in every single corner. We're not going to have any middle ones now because we're down to that 3x3. Then we're going to have our 2 stripped mangrove logs and 1 cherry fence on each side. Go ahead and grab out your cherry stairs. We're going to put one on each corner side of those cherry logs. Then we're going to put a cherry trapdoor in between each stair. And exactly like the last 2 layers, we're going to go ahead and fill in our corners with those 4 cherry slabs and 2 cherry trapdoors per corner. And then from there, we can go ahead and do our roof. For me, I'm just going to use black stone slabs and layer them too tall, but you can just use a solid block. And we're going to completely fill in these 8 blocks right here. Then we're going to put in a polished black stone stair in the center on each side. So you're going to have 4 stairs just like this. You can put whatever kind of block you want in the middle. We're going to put a cherry log coming out the top like this. You can actually go ahead and remove that block if you want, or you can leave it, whatever you want to do. And then we're going to have 2 cherry fences coming off the top of that. And that is going to be the exterior of your temple completely finished. Moving on to the materials needed for the inside, we can go ahead and start with our flooring. In each corner, these 3 blocks are going to be bamboo planks, just like that. Now the rest of the flooring we're going to fill in with bamboo mosaic to add a nice interesting pattern, except for the very center block, which is going to be a grass block. This is going to be the block that you actually grow your pink petals on. Now we can go ahead and install some chests. I put 2 floating on either side just for storage like this. You could also just put some chests on the floor like this to fill in areas, or like this, whatever you want to do. But I think by floating them, you don't really notice them as much, and they stay a little bit more hidden. Now it is time to go ahead and get in the rest of our redstone. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 3 blocks like that, and then remove these bottom 2. I'm going to knock out a hole in our flooring, and I'm going to place a upside down dispenser directly above our grass block. I'm going to fill in our flooring and remove that block above the dispenser. Now we are going to need to get out our observers. We're going to put in 2 blocks above the dispenser, just like this. Remove one, place a observer facing upwards into that block there. Now before you go ahead and remove that second temporary block, go up to the top of your temple and place an observer facing downwards into that temporary block. And then you can remove that second temporary block. Let's go ahead and finish this up real quick. Put a temporary block in the center hole here. Place a upside down sticky piston on the back of that observer. Go ahead and remove that temporary block. Now we can go ahead and put in our lever on the side of the piston. You can put it on whatever side you want, but I'm going to put it on the side with the door that I would be walking in and out of the most. And then finally, we can take 2 hoppers, place one going into the side of our dispenser, and then one on top of that, and this should be running directly into your chest. This way, that chest can be used as extra bone meal for your dispenser, while the one over here can be used as storage for your pink petals. Now you can go ahead and take out some pink petals, place one on that central grass block, and then go ahead and grab out a bunch of bone meal and fill up your dispenser. Or if you have these hoppers, just put it in the chest and it will flow on into the dispenser all on its own. And now your pink petal farm is 100% complete. You can go ahead and admire the outside of the build, but when you walk inside, you can go ahead and flick the lever on your sticky piston, which will push the observers together, activating an observer clock, which is just going to bone meal your pink petals. And the pink petals are just going to start popping off all over the place. You can just pick them up and put them in a chest yourself. Anyways, that is going to be it for today's tutorial video. This has been day 10 of our December 2023 Advent calendar. And if you're curious on what I might end up doing for day 11, maybe go ahead and hit that subscribe button and pop back in tomorrow. Anyways, this has been Mr. Gaming Aquatic, and I hope you have a very happy holiday.